Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
Buboils. And buboils?
Yeah.
Buboils?
Yeah.
Buboils.
Buboils.
Yeah.
Bubos.
Buboils.
Britain, an ancient kingdom with legends of violence, cruelty, and torment in its blood. Join your hosts, Ross, John, and James, as they bravely tread where few would dare. Witness their journey into the horrific history of British horror. They are the General Witchfinders.
Do this. So, ladies and gentlemen, goblins and ghouls, welcome back to the now 59th episode of the General Witchfinders podcast. I'm James in Bournemouth in southern England.
I'm John Pountney in the south of Wales, which is still in South Wales, and today I bought myself a new car.
Hey!
And I'm Ross in Dorchester, southern England, and this time we were amongst the survivors.
We slotted in this extra episode to celebrate initially hitting 50,000 downloads, but by the time we got around to watching the programme, scheduled some time when we were all available to record, edit it and put it out, we were already several thousand past the 50k mark. Humble brag from Ross there. Guys, thank you. So it's all entirely irrelevant. Oh well. That being said, we did put this out to our faithful subscribers on Patreon. A quick plug here. If you want to get the episodes early and with no ads, bliss, search for General Witchfinders on patreon.com. So, for the 50,000 milestone, we originally went looking for something that came out in 1950, but that was a bit of a struggle. So instead, we looked for something in our wheelhouse that came out 50 years ago and settled on the first episode of Survivors, the Fourth Horseman. If the idea of a global pandemic wiping out most of humanity sounds a bit close to the bone, you're not wrong. It was very much on our minds when we first started this podcast. So, fair warning before we go any further. This episode, and Survivors in general, deals with the aftermath of a worldwide pandemic. We know that the last few years have been incredibly stressful and in many cases devastating. We were all very lucky not to lose any close family members ourselves, and our thoughts go out to anyone listening who did. As always, we'll be talking about the show with our usual irreverence and trademark moronic prattle. Thanks for that 1-star review once again, Nationette. But we absolutely don't want to be disrespectful to anyone. If you think this might hit a bit too close to home, we completely understand if you want to give this one a miss. So, Survivors is a British post-apocalyptic drama series created by Terry Nation and produced by Terence Dudley for the BBC. It ran for 3 series between 1975 and 1977.
So when I wrote that, I was like, that's not 50 years ago, though. It can't. That,
it is,
and
mate.
then it's, I think it is.
Yeah.
As a man who's just turned 48, let me tell you.
The year of your birth, please, 77.
Yeah.
That's right.
And all of the members of ASH.
Correct, yes. Right. The show follows a small group of people trying to rebuild their lives after a deadly plague, known only as the Death, spreads uncontrollably, wiping out almost everyone. The virus is accidentally released by a Chinese scientist and spreads rapidly through international air travel. Within weeks, 4,999 out of every 5,000 people are dead.
Where does it say that?
Wikipedia. So I imagine that's what they say at some point in this in the series.
I don't remember that in the episode, but that's a lot of people, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
It
bad,
is.
isn't it?
That's virtually everybody, isn't it?
Wow.
So, born in Llandaff.
Llandaff.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me do that again. Me and my Welsh pronunciation. So bad. Born in Llandaff, Cardiff, which is, of course, in the south of Wales, Terry Nation is probably best known as the creator of the Daleks. He wrote their first appearance for Doctor Who back in 1963 and spent much of the rest of his career either writing more Dalek stories or trying to sell his own versions of Doctor Who to American TV networks. I didn't know that.
Mark 7. There was an android in it called Mark 7.
Ooh. Okay.
In the mid 70s, you could get Dalek annuals.
Yes.
For a TV show which hadn't even been made. So it was just really weird. And a lot of the stories, potentially, I think, that would have made it into this series might have been reused in these annuals that I've got somewhere. But
interesting.
Yeah.
That is good. All right. So, but then when he wasn't doing that, he then also created Blake 7, another bleak sci-fi series where everyone ends up miserable and dead. Nation had a knack for tapping into the big fears of the time, whether it was nuclear war, fascism, or, in this case, a global pandemic wiping out almost everyone. Who knew? All of which would be back with a vengeance half a century later. Cheery stuff. Which is strange considering his first TV writing gig was for Spike Milligan and Peter Sellers' sketch show, The Idiot Weekly. Before Doctor Who, he was very much a comedy writer in the same stable as Galton and Simpson, Eric Sykes and Spike Milligan. He actually started as a stand-up and later became a scriptwriter for Tony Hancock on his ITV series, Hancock. Nation later said it was his falling out with Hancock that prompted him to sit down and write his first Dalek script. In the mid-1970s, Brian Clemens of British Avengers fame claimed that he told Terry Nation the idea for the series back in the late 1960s, and he had registered it with the Writers Guild in 1965. Nation strongly denied it. It went to court, but both sides abandoned the case because the legal costs were spiralling. Oh, wow. Okay. Being the first episode, it's got a pretty big cast, mainly so they can bump most of them off early. Big Peter Bowles turns up as David Grant. Peter Copley plays Dr. Bronson. Peter Bowles has already featured in 2 other General Witchfinder topics. Spot quiz. Can you remember which ones?
Stigma.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've forgotten the name of it. Can you remember it? I know it's. I know which one it is.
Question, please. Describe it then.
It's the one with Roddy McDowall in it, and in the haunted house. And
House on Haunted Hill.
Or is it the haunting of Hill House?
Hell House.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
He's in that. Is he?
He's at the beginning.
Oh,
is he the estate agent or something?
He's the guy who sort of brings the paranormal investigators to the old man to go. He's kind of like shows them into the old man at the beginning.
I can't remember it really. It's just a lot of red, that film, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. I love it.
Indeed. Then from the early 1970s onwards, Bowles was everywhere. Some may say ubiquitous. He was in Napoleon in Love, the hospital sitcom Only When I Laugh. I'm H-A-P-P-Y.
Yeah, that was always on when I was off field.
I know I am. There was the theme for our international listener. And The Bounder, which again was, he played a cat.
Yeah.
Which, absolutely in his wheelhouse, where he played roguish ex-con Howard Booth in a part written specially for him by Eric Chappell. And oh my God, can you absolutely see that? The role he was born to play. He also created it and starred in Lytton's Diary, playing Fleet Street gossip columnist Neville Lytton.
Did he really? Mm-hmm. I watched a few episodes of that on Talking Pictures. And it was absolutely awful, but so watchable. It was just like all in one room that was like this, the headquarters of like a newspaper, and it just like people shouting at each other, a bit like the acting style of the Stone Tape. Like, I want an exclusive on this, you slag.
Proper acting.
Yes.
Correct. Right. So he also turned up in the Sarah Jane Adventures as Lionel Carson, and most famously played Richard De Vere in absolute standard of our youth, To the Manor Born, which we've discussed on this podcast before.
Many times.
That Rank were almost going to make a To the Manor Born movie. Amazing. And of course, we've recently learned, thanks to that idiot, and he can sue me if he wants to, that idiot Russell Brand sharing that footage, going after when they declassified all the JFK stuff, going, "Whoa, just to show that the CIA was involved in the murder of JFK." And in the thing that he shared down the bottom, it went, "And we can conclude from this that the assassin was
Penelope Keith."
It was Penelope Keith.
Who we saw in London when we was at university. Do you remember?
Yes,
you were screaming Margot at her.
Go on.
on Savile Row. Because we went to look for the Beatles headquarters.
Oh, nice.
And I couldn't remember where it was, and then it was we saw her.
Margot, yeah.
Margot.
Good celeb spot.
Yeah,
My,
exactly.
my last celeb spot, and I don't know if I've told you this, is that when I went to see Jack White, brag, I saw on the tube, Michael Portillo got on.
I'm a Michael Portillo super fan.
Oh, John! I
love all of his programs. We watch all of his programs like 3 times.
And he was in like some quite nice sort of maroon trousers.
He's amazing.
And I believe he was on with what I assume to be his good lady wife. But he was on with a lady of a similar age to him, and they got off. They got on at Waterloo and got off at Westminster.
Okay, write that down.
Legend, absolute legend.
Why do you watch it 3 times, John? What's the first pass? What's the second one?
Because there's so much to learn in his TV show. I particularly enjoyed the ones he did recently. He did one in Madrid. I think he did Prague, and he did somewhere else as well. And now we're watching.
You watched it 3 times. You can't remember where he went.
And then he was Copenhagen.
Yeah.
But now we're watching him in Portugal, which is very informative. Actually, very informative.
I'm watching Michael Palin go across the Himalayas at the moment.
See, I think Michael Palin is the poor man's Michael Portillo.
Oh, controversial.
Yeah.
He does moan a lot, Michael Palin.
Portillo doesn't moan at all. I just think I couldn't be more opposing him in terms of politics, I'm sure.
Yes.
But for his kind of zest for life and his kind of fun factor, he loves everything. And I find it really kind of inspiring to watch someone who's, to be fair, is nearly 70.
Yeah.
Going abroad and just having a fucking whale of a time. He appears to be half cut for most of his episodes.
Like Keith Floyd used to be.
Keith Floyd was one of my favourites.
Yeah, a little bit Keith Floyd-esque. And he just has an absolute whale of a time. And I just think, if I get to that age, I hope to be able to do stuff like he's doing there, because it looks great fun.
Yes, saying yes to life, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Enough of being miserable. There's too much misery around these days. Let's start it here.
And also,
all of us.
Absolutely.
Saying, I don't agree with your politics, but I can still like you as a person.
100%.
We need more of that these days.
I would love to go out for a drink with Michael Portillo. He did this hilarious thing, though, in one of the last episodes, where he was going over this bridge or river that apparently made you forget. And it was this ancient legend about the Romans going over there, and the Roman soldiers wouldn't cross, but then their, whatever their leader is called, went over, and he was calling them by name to come over to prove that
he remembered them.
He could remember them. But then Michael went over and he said, right, I'm going to start listing British prime ministers now to see if I can remember their names. So he got as far as Thatcher, and then after that, obviously John Major, who there was a lot of friction with, I think, with him, because he was seen as being the successor to Major, and then it never happened. And he was like, so it was Callaghan, it was Wilson, Callaghan, Thatcher. Oh, and I can't remember any of the prime ministers after that point. And I found it hilariously funny. Much funnier than it probably actually is.
Yeah.
And I thought that is a joke for the ages. Yes.
Yeah, I don't feel that's going to go in the main podcast.
That may be a
welcome to Michael Portillo cast.
Yeah. So far we've done oh my god, how middle-aged are we getting? We've done car insurance and Michael Portillo.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So meanwhile, we've got it. So I after Big Pete Bowles, we have got. It says Peter Copley was another one who seems to be in everything. The Forsyth Saga, the Avengers, the Bill, One Foot in the Grave. Go on, Ross.
I don't believe it. Oh, 4291.
That's what I thought you were going to do. 4291.
4291.
He played Dr. Warlock in the Doctor Who serial Pyramids of Mars.
Yes.
And his last screen appearance was Greyhold Spold in the TV adaptation of Terry Pratchett's The Colour of Magic in 2008.
So is this the guy that's the deaf doctor?
Yes.
Good God. He lived until 2008.
Yeah, and we're still working. Yeah.
Fuck, he must have been absolutely ancient.
Or just had a really bad war.
But he looks in his late 70s here, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Wow. Fair play to him.
And then we've got Carolyn Seymour, the main recurring cast we're introduced in this episode are Carolyn Seymour as Abby Grant, Lucy Fleming as Jenny Richards, and Talfrin Thomas as Tom Price. And Caroline Seymour's done loads since Survivors. She was a regular in Big Finish audio dramas, has voiced characters in a stack of video games, including Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. And she's popped up in everything from Malcolm in the Middle to ER. She's also had multiple roles in Star Trek Voyager, nice, and The Next Generation, even better. And she auditioned for the role of Dr. Beverly Crusher. Ooh.
Wow.
As well as Quantum Leap, Magnum P.I., The Twilight Zone, and Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Wow, she cut a swathe through the TV of our youth, I'd say.
Fair play.
Absolutely, yeah. Talfrin Thomas will probably be familiar if you've ever watched much British TV from the late 1960s through to the early 80s. He's probably best known for playing Private Cheeseman in the oft-repeated Dad's Army.
Yes.
If you don't recognise him, I'm guessing you're not from the UK. You weren't born between the mid-1970s and mid-80s and didn't watch far too much telly as a kid.
Yes.
In which case,
Captain Mainwaring.
Exactly. In which case, God only knows what you're getting out this podcast. But God bless you all for persevering. And then Talfrin was the go-to Welshman for just about anything filmed in that era. He showed up in Steptoe and Son, Doomwatch, which we covered a couple of episodes back, Wurzel Gummidge, and of course, staple and favourite of this podcast, Heidi High.
Which I'm sure is a magical incantation.
Was he in Doctor Who ever?
I don't think so.
Because I'm surprised if he wasn't in The Green Death, which is set in Wales. Canonically, is probably the only one in the classic series to be set in Wales besides Delta and the Bannermen. But I can't visualise him being in it. Captain Mainwaring?
Yes, he was.
Yes, in what? In what's?
Well, he was in
in what serial, Cleves?
Something called Spearhead from Space.
You're joking.
Yeah,
Was he in that really?
Yeah, and The Green Death.
Oh my God.
And The Green Death, excellent. Yes,
It's all what
The giant
twisted
maggots.
web we weave.
Imagine how much work these fuckers had in the 70s.
Yeah.
They literally must have fallen out of one pub into anotother job, into another pub.
Yeah, but also still lived in a semi-detached and
Yes,
and,
yes.
and had no money left after they finished the job they was on.
Well, yeah, because they're probably pissing it all up the wall. Because I'm sure they were just all massive drunks.
Well, I've been watching a lot of TV from this era recently because of the podcast, and also my daughter, they did a Tarzan Unexpected at school in English, and so she wanted to watch the episode with it. And it's just like every episode, people, they get over work, first thing they do, pour a drink, isn't it?
Yeah. To be fair, that's what I've done since lockdown.
It's interesting that, and once again, weaving it all together seamlessly. This is Ross. That's a thought that a friend of my sister Kate's called Caitlin had before. I remember when I was in my 20s that she said that she had been reading Day of the Triffids, and she just said, they're all just pissed the entire time. Like at the start of the novel, before the Triffids turn up, most of them, they're just drinking huge amounts. Yeah. And I thought, it clearly was, far more of a staple back then in British society. And there was that thing, wasn't there? Back when the internet was a bit more fun, somebody found that kind of like cocktails you can make at home from the 1970s book. Yeah. And people were, it was cocktails based on I've got to think English thriller writer, sort of British version of Tom Clancy-esque. I think it might be Len Deighton. I'm going to say.
Oh, Len Deighton. Yes, I've read one of his books. That's
or somebody like that.
40 minutes in, we haven't started the program yet.
Well, of course we haven't. But lots of this is going to get.
This is a special episode, Cleves.
Yes.
What the fuck do people want?
Yes, it is indeed Len Deighton's action cookbook.
Right.
Oh, yes, I've read about this. Did I see about this on telly recently?
Hang on. Right, okay, I'm going to send you guys the link to it right now. And what a number of people noted at the time was they said, well, this came out in the 1970s. And they're like, if you actually look at the recipes, it's like everyone would have just been absolutely pissed.
Sloshed. Yes.
Yeah, but like you talked about your nan's booze trolley, like everyone's parents had a drinks cabinet, but it's not People don't have that anymore, do they?
This is from, you guys can read it at your leisure, but, for our listener who may be interested in the Len Dayton.
In Ireland.
Yes, Len Dayton's action cookbook. It says, in popular culture, the cookbook was mentioned in an episode of The Supersizers, focusing on the extremely high quantities of alcohol required for a 1970s cocktail party.
Yeah.
It requires half a 70 cubic litre bottle of spirit per person every 2 hours of a party, increasing to 3/4 of a bottle per person after 2 hours, since drinking will increase if they haven't gone home by then. This equates to 87.5 cubic litres of spirits per person for a 4-hour party.
I just think we had such a... well, they were just pissed all the to anyway,
that's just like drinking a bottle of vodka in under 4 hours, isn't it?
But that's Burton-esque.
It is. Yeah.
As an alcoholic that died.
Yeah.
That's insane, isn't it?
It is.
Because my favourite interview is where he's like, 2 good bottles of liquor per day. I was trying to drink myself to death. This is a very nice way to die. So a quarter of a bottle of... Oh,
yeah,
God.
Yeah. So, yes, it's a very boozy 70s.
It's bad that they had such a problem about kids binge drinking. When they were just constantly...
Shit-faced.
Yeah.
And
now,
let's not forget driving the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And how now culturally that is now shifting. Fewer students go out and drink.
Yeah.
When you go to most gigs, people don't, there's much less drinking going on. I know. We used to be a country. No one.
My mechanic the other day, I said, I've wasted your time today with a few different things that happened. I'll buy you all a slab of cans of beer or something. And he was like, I don't really drink. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, you kick something over in the workshop and we'll storm out.
Yeah. Set fire to his car.
So let's get cracking. Let's get into this. And I've got to say, what an absolute treat! I had never seen a minute of this. No. I was broadly aware as to what it was, and I was broadly aware that they brought it back, didn't they?
Yes,
they did.
They did do, and which I watched the first episode of and was very underwhelmed by.
Yes,
and I think because of that made me not too interested in seeking out the original. But having watched this,
you can get a more different beast, really, can you,
James?
Oh
my God!
Apparently, the remake was based because there's still rights issues tied up with this. So the remake was based on the novelization of Survivors rather than the original script.
It did follow the start of the novel much more closely, but which also does follow episode 1 in this quite closely. I read the novel. Have I explained this before in this podcast? I read this novel on a day, and I can't remember where we were going. So I was sat in the back of our metro. My mother and Nan would be in the back, and I probably read this novel in a day, just driving around. We might have gone to Cadbury World or something like that. And it put the fear of God into me. It absolutely gave me the willies. I can't remember where it stops in the series. It doesn't cover the whole series. It just really deals with episode 1 and then a few more episodes. But the start of it just terrified me, and I think I had nightmares about it.
But did it kick off your plague mania?
Well, yeah, that's probably why I read it, because it's I think in the novel it's made more clear that it's another type of Black Death type Bacillus pestis, which obviously is my favourite plague.
My favourite 2 words.
Or Yersinia pestis, which I think is slightly different. Or are they spread on different rats? I can't remember.
Don't know, you're the one going on Mastermind doing
plagues.
Yeah, so listener, John wanted us to choose what his specialist subject would be. I wanted to do Michael Ripper, but he decided it's going to be on plagues.
There's a lot of really good plagues.
This is true, and having never seen a minute of it, I just took it as it was, and it absolutely knocked me out for a number of reasons. Number one, it is the most. We've mentioned it before. We just mentioned Day of the Triffids. The most. It's known as a quiet apocalypse. It's kind of British style of thing wherein things don't end with a bang and huge dramatic moments and things like that. Things just fall apart. Things just very slowly fall apart.
Yeah.
And obviously they were massively limited by the budget. Right, they didn't have a huge amount of money, but that makes it all the stronger.
Yes, and I totally agree.
Yeah. Rather than showing piles of bodies, you see the phone's not working.
Yes,
and that's
really scary, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that what they do and what they did so well is that they eschew the classic. That we've become so accustomed to narratives that work in a certain way. So, say for example, episode number 1, establishing for a big thing like a world-ending plague. Yes, I know we have that little bit in the credits at the start, but there's no real kind of cut to the UN or cut to the World Health Organization and people looking at screens going, this is getting out of hand.
Yeah.
There's none of that. No. It's just, here's these people's lives. Things are going a bit bad
but they're
here.
kind of, it's in the background slightly.
Yeah. And it's getting worse and worse and worse.
You don't see any authority figures. You don't really see any police or politicians or... You don't see it on television. Yeah. I think, do you hear it on the radio a little bit? But then the radio goes off, doesn't it?
In many ways, I found it was kind of like the spiritual father to Threads, isn't it? Yes. Threads is bleaker.
Yeah.
Threads is, of course, bleaker. But that whole kind of, we just start off with normal people's lives and then bang. And then it's all of a sudden you're in the apocalypse.
But it did make me think of the pandemic to a certain extent for us, where it was just like, that didn't happen overnight. It was just something that you was...
It was over a couple of weeks, wasn't it?
But you're slowly aware of this. This is a thing.
Coming closer and closer,
And and then it just like... The day they told me not to come into work, that's when it was like, fuck.
Whoa.
Yeah, this isn't going to stop. Because you just assume it's going to stop, don't you?
The day I thought that was the worst was when Boris Johnson went on this morning and laughed his way through saying that hundreds of thousands of people were going to die or something. And it was just like, what? Who's in charge of the messaging for this? You're terrifying people.
Yeah.
And that's what this doesn't do, in that you don't get any of those big proclamations that James says. And it's it's just much more on a personal level, because the first thing you see is Abby playing tennis with a machine.
Yes.
Which I think is meant to show like modernity, isn't it? And it's like she's there with a robot that's throwing balls at her. But then from that point, you go straight into the story straight away, saying the school's closing and a maid doesn't feel very well, and it's like straight away you're just like, fuck.
Well, first of all, when I was watching this, I was thinking, why are they showing such an upper class family? So basically, someone who has got a maid. Struggles a little bit, who can't cook without her and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then it made me realise what they're trying to show is that we are, as a society, we're just so far removed from the things we need to do to survive.
Yes. As we will build to.
As soon as these things start falling away, this woman doesn't even know how to cook anything other than bacon and eggs. So when
which isn't a bad thing.
Which I said... Yeah, that was my note for later on, that Peter Bowles rolls his eyes at that. I'd be thrilled if someone making an eggs. Yes, awesome, thank you.
What's he expecting?
Yeah, well, fucking cook something yourself, you tool.
Yeah.
So we à la France.
So we get this, this rich woman said, and all of a sudden she says, they seem, they keep saying on the radio that things are getting worse and worse, and the home help, her maid, if for all it's the maid, housekeeper, says, is it all right if I go and see my sister? Can I go and see my sister? Because, I've heard it's getting bad in London and I've not been able to get through to her.
Yeah.
And again, that really nice kind of subtle, and I know it's the 1970s and now it seems so hilarious, the notion that, thanks to mobile technology, you're constantly in contact with everyone all the time. But that notion of, I've not been able to speak to him for a good few days, so I don't know what's happened. And then that whole kind of introducing that, something's not right.
Yeah, it's shit scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think we remember that era, but we know it more than people, the generation younger than us, because I think we remembered landlines.
Oh, yeah.
Not having mobiles, and the thought that if your phone didn't work, because I remember when we lived on the farm still, and we were snowed in one winter, 1990. And we were snowed up for 7 days. The phone wouldn't work. We had no electric. And we had to live with an open fire and stuff that was coming out of the freezer, which was defrosting. And it was like, we've literally gone back to medieval times. And Dad had to take the cows down to another farm where they had a generator to be milked, because if the cows weren't milked, they'd all get mastitis and die. He would have had to hand milk them because the milking machine wouldn't work. And it's just like, fuck, we're that close to kind of... But I don't think people see that kind of edge or precipice now, do they? That imagine like people lose their shit now when Facebook goes down or like WhatsApp goes down for like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Or when KFC didn't get any chicken.
Yeah. And to see something like this, which is so skillfully told, where, like you say, James, the housekeeper wants to go, and then basically we see the housekeeper on the train then, and she's sneezing and not looking very well, is she? So you're kind
touching her boob oils.
Yeah,
Bubos.
Buboils.
Yeah.
Bubos.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was thinking that how they would do this now, and maybe they might have done it at that point, would be lots of TV reports. And it's interesting that did they show any TV?
I don't think you see a TV screen in this. It's just radio. And it's just, it's weird that it's, it looks like now, like kind of ancient technology, doesn't it? Where Peter Bowles has got a Jensen Interceptor and the Doctor has got a Bentley. So they have their status in society through the cars they have. But obviously within this episode, that status is gone because the cars mean nothing, basically. I just find all of it really interesting. It's very good storytelling.
It is.
None of that is pulled over. We really should have watched the remake, shouldn't we, to kind of do a compare and contrast. Maybe we could do at some point.
We'll do that for 150,000.
So I also, in my notes, I put when she drives the
Interceptor.
Well, that's the thing. I put what car is it, John?
Does she
I
go
thought it was an
to
Aston
the
Martin.
station?
Yeah,
and then falls
I
asleep.
thought, it's a nice car.
Yes.
It's a really lovely car.
It's a Jensen Interceptor, which is what Eric Morecambe had famously.
Oh, hey!
Exactly.
EM1 was his number plate. And that's where he had his first heart attack, driving his Jensen Interceptor home one night after a gig.
Did he crash into Leslie Crowther?
He crashed into Leslie Crowther, and then he cartwheeled into Renee from Hello Hello. So I've written by 5 minutes in that I'm already shitting it, because it's like the Doctor's in a Bentley and he is obviously already saying that he's visiting people all over the
wants to come to give them anti-flu jab.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does he disclose at that point that they're not working and it's just bollocks?
No, that's the other Doctor.
That's the other Doctor.
Oh, okay. So I've said, then it's the last time that we'll see the maid. So the maid is gone. She's on the train. It's the last time we'll see her. And then it's we become kind of aware then, don't we, that the trains aren't working either.
No.
Which is just mad, because you're just like, what do you do without trains? And
the line that I put down, that the guy from the railway station says, it's all gone to pot.
Yes.
And I thought, there you go. That is the most British of summaries. Everything has fallen. Oh, it's all gone to pot.
Also, because the phones aren't working, they don't know what's going on. What trains are coming, all that kind of stuff.
So there's just these kind of empty platitudes coming from the station kind of voiceover thing. But what is more scary than just an empty train track with no trains on it? Because that means it's a bit like the scene in War of the Worlds, the Tom Cruise one.
Yeah.
What really shit me up is when the train comes down the track and it's all on fire.
Yeah.
And it just comes out of nowhere. And I remember thinking that, like, the real sign of modernity in this world is, the railway and bringing civilization to all these outposts and, India, Canada, Cornwall and, places like that with the Tamar Bridge and whatever. But then if no one's alive to run the trains, it's like you can't get anywhere. You've got to fucking walk. And it's medieval. It scares the shit out of me. And the timetables.
The idea of walking anywhere.
Yeah. And the timetables don't mean anything, and all of that stuff that you kind of collect as humans, it's just all rubbish, really, isn't it?
True. Very, very true. Which is what we see later on as well when Jenny, who we're going to talk about in a second, finds that guy who's dying. He's holding on to something because he's just got loads of money.
Yes,
hasn't he? He's obviously either his money or he's grabbed it.
He's nicked.
But I'm sure I've seen that in something else. Subsequently, I think someone else has copied that.
Money means nothing. Yes. Yeah.
And they just end up using it to burn or something.
Yes, and that with the KLF.
Yeah.
But KLF. KLF is going to rock you.
So we've had Tricky so far, and we've had KLF as well. That's
yeah,
pretty good, isn't it?
Nice. Yeah, quite cool. We were quite cool this evening for once.
Yeah.
Right. So with that, we then get our second main character, don't we? Who was the aforementioned Jenny, who is a young woman living in London, and we find out that her flatmate is unwell. Her boyfriend is a doctor in a London hospital. She is really worried about her flatmate. He said she's got like
is it a sister?
raised
I
glands.
can't remember if it's
I can't
sister.
I'm assuming it's a flatmate. Otherwise, she'd be more upset than she was when she died.
Yeah, maybe. I can't remember.
Stiff upper lip and all that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she goes to see the doctor, and then the doctor once again, on a very limited budget, they do a good job of not quite that thing of, this is, the hospital's just been overrun.
But
there wasn't quite that. But big, people...
air syringe, haven't they?
Yes.
People are getting a flu jab, and the doctor, her boyfriend, says to her, we're giving people this, but it's no use whatsoever. It's just doing nothing.
When I saw that, it's interesting. It's interesting they hadn't thought about face covering. That was
back then.
That was such a big part of it for us, wasn't it? When we had our pandemic.
I don't think they say in this ever really how it spreads. Because obviously you see at the start in the title sequence, is it a dropped like Petri dish?
Yes.
And the implication is like China or somewhere, isn't it? Because then you see a guy with a kind of a scientist with a kind of East Asian face, and then you see like a jumbo jet, and you see like germs and stuff, don't you? So
it's making me think of Le Jetée, the way it was filmed as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't think you ever find out how it's actually spread, but I think face masks, would have been an interesting addition to this piece with the like with the Spanish flu and the pictures you see of that, like everyone wearing masks, and masks for COVID was just
they were
every so often I'll put a coat on and put my hand in my pocket and find a mask.
I have flashbacks to going to places and then thinking, God, we had to wear masks to like.
It's when you go to like a supermarket, you still see the lines painted on the road.
I think the last time when we went to see Lee and Caris for a meal in Abergavenny, and I think to get into where we were going, we had to wear a mask, but then we had to sit at a table that was like far enough away that we could take the masks off to eat or something. Very odd, but just
strange time. Yes.
What I want to say up to this point is that the interior sets that we've seen are very cold and impersonal, and quite odd, aren't they? And they don't look homely. They're that kind of mid-70s Laura Ashley look where nothing looks very comfortable or kind of...
Oh, yeah, for the rich people, whereas the flat for Jenny and her flatmate that reminded me of the kind of the flat out of Bloodline.
What's Bloodline, Cleves?
Deathline.
Very similar.
Yeah.
Just cold, impersonal, not very... There's something about the way this is lit and kind of shot. It just... Everything looks very stark and really unfriendly.
This was in the studio with the big studio lights on, isn't it?
No, I think it's more deliberate than that. And I think the whole thing has this feeling where you're just a bit like, ooh, I feel a bit cold watching this, that it all feels a bit wintry and not a pleasant kind of cozy 70s.
But that,
it doesn't look like the Good Life kind of set, does it? Or like, even like Rising Damp or something. Really, it looks very almost surgical and very austere.
Yeah, well, that hospital gave me flashback to the hospital in Threads, which is one of the most disturbing places. Just the idea of going to a place where like all the doctors are dead and everyone's bleeding, and I just well, you just kill yourself, wouldn't you? At that point, I think I'll take some people out with me.
Yeah, that's the scene, and that's the scene when she goes into the hospital and she talks to the doctor, and he says, "I've already got it." And we've had like 70 deaths, does he say? Yeah,
and there's going to be more. And the other thing that he establishes very quickly is only one person is, there's a critical point in the infection that kills everybody off. And so far, only one person has survived this critical point, thus suggesting there is a natural immunity. Somehow there's a natural immunity out there. And there's just going to be obviously like a handful of people who have got it.
And we're going to meet those people.
We are.
But I don't think they're ever... I think when you have a film like this now, it's like, oh, okay, we're going to find that one person, we're going to take them to a lab, and then in 20 minutes, we're going to work out some kind of cure from them.
And then there'll be a plan.
Right. Whereas with this, it's like there's no plan, there's no government, everyone's dead.
Yeah. Just get out of the city. Get out of the city. It's great.
Well, he says, doesn't he? Well, it's going to be like an open cesspit or something.
Yes.
Great at this point is like you've got no idea who's going to survive, who's going to die.
No.
If you've never watched it before.
No, exactly. There was a great switcheroony coming up in a bit.
Yeah.
But the line that I noted down that I thought, that's good, is that the boyfriend doctor says the Home Secretary has told us to keep up the fiction to stop the panic from spreading. And I thought that's always such a sinister thing. And as you know, I'm fascinated by conspiracy theories. Just like, why do people believe in them? I don't believe in any myself. I don't think anyone. This is something that I don't know if you guys watched. There was a really, really good thing on BBC. Alan Yentops Imagine, when he was with Armando Iannucci, and
it was on recently.
Yeah, and Iannucci said, you grow up thinking that the people who are in charge of things are smarter than you, cleverer, and always have a plan. He said one of the things that the pandemic showed us was these people got no idea what they're doing.
No,
these people are utterly clueless too.
Yeah,
I think
talking about that today, and I was just saying the problem we've got now is that the people who are in control are not even trying to hide the fact that they know what they're doing. Don't know what they're doing. Yeah. And that makes it even more frightening. That they're not even having the decency to pretend they know what they're doing. You just feel like fucking hell. We are one WhatsApp message away from a nuclear bomb being set off.
Basically, yeah. I think both sets of politicians in America now just aren't serious people. And I think the Tories, people like Farage, they're not serious people. I think there's some people in the Labour Party who are serious people and can do stuff, but I think they're probably swimming against the tide. And when you think of the kind of statesmen and women that we've lost and who have run things in the past, now we're just down to these idiots.
Yes.
These fucking idiots that are just fantasists.
I think we just know too much. I think they were just as mad and
I don't know. I don't know, Cleves. I think some of them genuinely were clever, intelligent, genius type people.
I feel like I think as a society, in order to keep us and allow other people to take control, we've been sold this lie that there is a ruling class. Yeah. There are a group of people who are just a bit above everyone else, and they're the ones who have the facilities to sort of control stuff. When in reality, they're all as fucking mad as everyone else.
And Ross, to that end, I highly recommend, I've mentioned it before, but a really, really good book, which I read, called Sad Little Men, which is all about, basically the British private school system. And how
I totally agree that those idiots are just, but you have people like Dennis Healy, Michael Foot, really clever, erudite men that could run stuff, but they were just let down by all the other fucking imbeciles. Well, and I think that this is the story in Survivors, really, isn't it? Where they're just dead.
And as I say, our let's be upbeat and let's be positive message is going really well.
Yeah.
It's fallen apart already after about 20 minutes. But yes, so even though I don't think that there is I'm not a conspiracy theory person, the fact that just that line, that notion of, well, look, we've got to keep up the appearance here because otherwise panic will spread. That idea has always intrigued me, if not terrified me. It's a bit like the whole, what if they discover that there's a world-ending asteroid coming in? Would they say, oh yeah, we should tell people, or we say, no, just don't tell anyone because it will be chaos. People will go mad. Just let it hit.
Something I've written down at this part is that the city is like a pampered baby. I thought that was a really good line. Because it just needs everything and it can't operate without people. And without people, it's just empty spaces. And again, another terrifying idea that hospitals without doctors are just... Yeah,
it's like when Brexit happened and then they realised, oh, hang on, we need foreign lorry drivers. We can't get medicine.
There's all sorts of cases, isn't there, where they haven't thought through just people being able to, in terms of the NHS, the amount of people that worked in the NHS that are not British, but come to work in the NHS as a matter of pride. Without those people, it can't operate.
I got a friend who works for the Welsh government, and before the pandemic, they did one of those kind of war gaming type things just for an emergency. So he said there was he was working with the First Minister. Is that what you call him in Wales?
They do indeed, please, yeah.
And basically, they was in like a situation room, and they said every so often they would be passed a bit of paper, say, "Oh, this has happened," and they had like the head of all the emergency services and all that kind of stuff. And it was like a flu outbreak scenario. And he said they were just about on top of it until the doctors and the ambulance drivers and people like that got it, and they said at that point,
what do you do?
And he just said, like, my advice from seeing that, if anything like that happens, just go as far away from everywhere as you possibly can, because as soon as the people who are there to help people get ill, you're fucked.
Which in Wales is quite plausible. You can just drive to like the middle of nowhere quite quickly, but how long are you going to survive there? I don't know really without food or like. I've written here, and I can't remember which part this is. That a candle is symbolic. So Jenny's sister is dead.
Later.
Do they go back to? Well, I don't know. Do they go back to her flat and light a candle because there's no power there? Maybe.
Yeah. Well, because she was ill when she left. When she came back, she's dead.
She's dead.
Dead. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Peter Bowles' wife has gone to the station to pick her up.
Who's Abby Grant?
Abby Grant.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's fallen.
And the train's not there because the train which left was the one which was meant to have left 3 trains ago, and she's fallen asleep in the car, and he comes banging on the window, and the first thing he's doing is complaining about traffic. And
just saying, it's fully, doesn't he say, "Oh, I had to get 3 different trains" or something like that? And So once again, that feeling of things are starting to fall apart.
And one of the things I think is good at this point is while they're showing people moving around the country. So it's a good way of showing this is how it's spreading. People are driving places, people are catching the train and all that kind of stuff, and it's just
it is good, but you're not necessarily seeing that, are you? You're just hearing about it, and I think that works really well, because this made me think the other day actually that some guy who maybe produces big TV said that BBC and ITV now don't have the money to make
a drama,
and with that thing Adolescence. They've got this scene where they had 300 extras, and that's really expensive. And now and I just thought, okay, write a scene where you don't need 300 extras.
Yeah.
You don't need. I think TV now, everything is done on this epic scale, and it's quite easy to go back to writing dramas that are just 2 people in a room, or 3 people in a room, or something like this, where you see very few people. It has an epic feel, but there's no 300 extras in it, and I do wonder if that's more of a change in storytelling than in budgets, really. Because we started watching Severance, and I was just like, this is rubbish. It's so cold, but it looks so lavish and expensive.
It is.
So why it doesn't need. You can still make something that looks good, but it doesn't need to cost this huge amount.
I do think that we, as you say, John, during that discourse and when people were talking about that online, I did see a few tweets, people just saying, we need to get back to being innovative, as you said. That whole just kind of, and they said, we are the country, this is the country that made The Singing Detective.
Exactly.
This is the country that made Threads. It's like, let's get innovative. Let's do things that other TV places, let's not just do American rip-offs, which is why I think is the problem a lot of the time.
Different storytelling.
What I call the ITV dramas, which always feel like really weak to me.
Yes.
And just sort of like watered down American version, of stuff on in the States.
ITV drama, really.
And I think we need to get back to being a bit more innovative. But anyway, it's another middle-aged.
But I think maybe it's a good way to do that, is to look to the past and see how they did stuff with minuscule budgets compared. And I think not to over-elaborate, but to mention it, I think that is something that Doctor Who could really benefit from, where every series now is like, oh, this is the end of the total universe. Or like all
most
of
expensive
time.
episode ever.
Yeah, it's like, okay, let's do the cheapest episode ever.
Yeah, maybe you could have made more than 10 episodes if you were having the most expensive episode ever.
And they'd be easier to shoot, and you wouldn't need all this post-production, which takes years, if you just did something that was like...
Jodie in a cupboard.
Yeah.
Which is one of the most moving episodes of Doctor Who during the pandemic, when she did that thing for the kids and just filmed it herself in the wardrobe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You've just do something where you change you don't, I saw one of the new Doctor Who titles and it was like Interstellar Song Contest. And I was like, I can't think of anything I less want to watch than Doctor Who doing the Interstellar Song Contest. Like, why has it gone to this mad abstraction? Why isn't it just the Doctor trying to save people in quite a plausible way? Or other dramas, like you say, James, The Singing Detective, all these amazing keystone dramas, but everything now has got to be like, oh yeah, we're going to do this scene where like we're going to fill the fucking Colosseum with 10,000 extras or something. Does that
feed the same pet in space?
Does that make people want to watch? It doesn't make me want to watch stuff.
No.
I just want to watch a good story.
Stop moaning. What happened next?
Yes, right. Okay, so what we get. So now Abby Grant and Big Peter Bowles have been reunited. They return to their house. And in my notes, I said, this totally reminds me of After Barty's Party, this bit. Did you guys think this or not?
Yeah.
Very similar kind of into the whole thing, isn't it?
Big posh house.
Yeah.
Just, on a commuter belts.
Yes.
Just off of the, and then sort of having to rely on the radio for information. And then, do calm down, my dear. It won't be as bad as all that.
And
all of that.
You're going to make me any food then?
There is the great bit. He says, look, there can't be too much trouble. The power's still on.
And that goes off straight
away.
away.
The power goes off and they're plunged into darkness, which I thought was great.
Yes.
We then get a really good sequence of them kind of like going to bed. And what I put is Peter Bowles' pajamas are superb. He's wearing some absolutely amazingly tailored pajamas in this sequence that you really don't get anymore. So hats off to that.
I just thought that he's wearing nylon, she's wearing nylon. The bedclothes look nylon. They're going to be so cold and clammy.
Yeah.
And then when she is clammy in bed, it's just this horrible feeling of remembering what those 70s kind of things felt like. Because,
catching your toe now on a bit of like nylon.
Because we had all that stuff well into the 80s, didn't we? Growing up, you didn't have new bedding every 3 minutes like we do now. You had the same bedding when you were 10 that you had when you were like 2, basically. And it did bring back such horrible memories of these. It's a very 70s idea of luxury, but when you look at it, none of it feels even remotely luxurious. No. Because it all just looks so uncomfortable and cold and horrible. And I think that's quite interesting. I don't know if that's me reading into it or if it is just, that's what they were going for in lots of ways.
Yeah, or it was just modern and this is what people, how they live.
Yes, but everything looks so flimsy and a bit like Barty's Party. They're in this affluent stockbroker belt type house, but it gives them absolutely no kind of protection from what is happening. And their world of luxury and being well off just means nothing straight away. And I think that's why it gives me the willies, that it's just like, you can imagine them redoing this now and it being like in Cheshire somewhere, some rich footballer's house. And then once the power goes off, you're fucked.
Yeah. You can't use your special tap which makes hot water come out.
No, you might as well literally live in a fucking cave.
Yeah.
I think those things are death traps.
Yeah.
Every time I watch on TV, I don't care that they say, oh no, it's super safe. Some child's going to burn them.
I've never understood.
Boiling water shoots out of it.
Yeah. I've never understood why you need them.
No, it's weird, isn't it? Anyway,
on.
I've also put my notes is that they discuss going to go and get their son from the private school. And I put my notes are, should we go and get our son? No, fuck him. We pay for that school. It seems to be the vibe. Should we go get him? No.
They'll hunker down.
They'll be fine. Yeah, so I thought that's very, very upper class and very British as well. That notion of, no, don't go and get your kids. Just leave them there. They'll be all right.
Yes. And do we catch up with the other girl now who's walking out of London?
Yes.
And it's like, how long would it take you to walk out of London?
But does she say where she's going?
No.
Yeah. And what's the most practical outfit she decides to wear? A massive fluffy Afghan coat.
Yes.
Hey, it was the 70s.
Very 70s, isn't it?
That's what it is. So who's the? So the first person she runs into it's very much kind of like kind of classic storytelling of on the road to the market I met 3 people.
Yes.
And these people all have kind of like a message and they are all representative of a certain part and a certain way of society.
So, yes,
that's the first one, and that bit was good.
Yeah.
That I thought was good because I did think that is, again, what they could get away with on TV at the time. That notion of the sudden feeling of there's no one here to stop us anymore.
No one's coming to stop it.
Because they're looting, so they got a shopping trolley full of like electrical goods and stuff. But again, they don't make a big deal out of that.
No.
Yeah, and then there's a very strong but not blatant threat of sexual violence at this point as well.
Yes.
And it makes you realise, like you said, if there's no one around to stop men, what will they do?
Yeah.
And that was, and it sounds stupid, but when the pandemic was, I was thinking, well, how bad is this going to get? And I was thinking, if law and order does break down, what would I have to do to protect the kids? And I was thinking, how could I hide them in the loft?
All I did was go to Co-op, which is very quiet and is closed down now. And I'd bring the bacon back and I'd wash the packets of bacon. I didn't think about anything like that, please.
Helen could stick up for herself.
Yeah. Did you seriously think that Law and Order would be like that?
Well, I didn't know because I didn't expect to suddenly say don't come to work anymore. And and then you're not allowed to go outside. It's just bad.
Yes, it is mad.
It was when I was crying and making a spreadsheet of all the stuff in the cupboards.
I wasn't expecting that.
What cupboards? What food?
When they told me not to come into work, I had a bit of a meltdown, and I made like a list of everything we had
because you get all the food from the RNLI.
No, but just the idea is like, well, what's going to happen? What will it be a case of that? I'm really going to have, there might be a point where the shops are going to shut, or or lorries won't go to the shops anymore. How long is what I've got on the? How long is this condensed milk?
I never thought it would get to that, but I do remember a very odd experience where I was painting the flat roof because I was just doing loads of DIY, and I ordered some stuff from B&Q, and when I got there, they had this insane system where you had to drive and park in the car park. They would bring stuff out on a trolley, all stood like 10 meters apart, 3 of them. And then you'd have to get out the car, pick up the paint and put it in the car and just drive off. And they wouldn't speak to you or anything. And I remember thinking, whoa, they're taking this really seriously.
Yeah.
It's just mad. That part was really mad.
Just as a voice of contrast, I must say, and I have said a few times, and we did prefigure it at the start by saying I am super, super sorry if anyone did suffer during it. It was the time of my life. I loved it. I loved every minute. It was the best thing that ever happened to me.
To be honest, I loved huge chunks of it, James, because it was like, it was nice weather, and I just went out and about.
I lost loads of weight, got really buff, got really tanned.
Yeah,
I didn't see a soul. I went all around doing photography, and I never saw anyone. But
I read all day and I drank wine. It was my dream life. It was wonderful. At last, it's what I've been trying to do all of these years, and it's been handed to me on a plate.
Yeah, exactly. Please God, let it continue.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, right. So back to it. So we should point out once again. I pull up the characters' names because I do always forget. So yes. So we should point out that over the course of the night, Abby Grant, the posh lady, gets ill. And you do think, this is looking bad. And Peter Bowles does a really bad job of like tending to her. Going, are you all right, dear? Clearly not. Yeah, so she gets it.
He goes out to get the doctor, doesn't he?
Doctor, yes. And then their meeting is extremely bleak, isn't it? And there's just
it's a brilliant scene.
Yes.
Yeah, he lets on that his wife has died.
Wife is gone.
Yeah.
And basically everyone else is dead in the
going
village,
to die.
Yes.
So Peter Bowles goes back, sees the wife on the couch, and the feeling is, she's died. We then do cut back to Jenny on her quest through the countryside, and at this point, as I said, she runs into the sensible Welsh tramp, which is what he is. As we've just been saying, get away from everyone. So his whole thing is get away from me, and I'm going to stay out of this until the heat dies down.
He has a bit of a whack in a field, doesn't he?
He does, and he does like a bit of bartering with her, and the suggestion is, bartering's going to be making a comeback soon.
Oh my God, yeah.
And so once again, that whole thing of Terry Nation does a really good job of, through these interactions with people, him showing the audience this is what would very quickly start to become important again, and this is what would become irrelevant very, very quickly. So yeah, that whole notion of, oh, what have you got? Have you got some food? You know, that notion of we would suddenly be back in a bartering system very quick. You know, that came across well. And his whole thing, his very sensible thing of stay back, and you know, I'm going to stay as far away from people as I possibly can.
Yeah,
so
but he was also looking on the bright side. He said, you know, there'll
be loads of jobs,
but there'll be loads of jobs afterwards, and lots of money. Yeah.
Good, yeah, you know, and then cut back to the posh country house, and as the previously mentioned, the big twist is dun dun dun. Jenny has recovered. Oh, not Jenny. Sorry, Abby. Abby has recovered. She is one. She is one of the ones previously mentioned by the younger doctor, who said, you know, one patient pulls through, one patient out of every, as we heard at the start, every 500 makes it. She is alive.
5,000, James.
5,000, Jesus. Well, out of the 5,000 pulls through, she's made it. She looks across to the sofa. Oh my God, Big Peter Bowles is dead.
Yeah,
Peter Bowles has succumbed overnight.
It's a big for me.
It is
that's
a big twist.
Revelation.
Yeah,
because it's like the Janet Leigh dead in Psycho moment, where it's like, oh, who you thought might be the lead of this program, they've just killed, and he's dead on the sofa.
That's what they did in Lost as well, wasn't it? With the airline pilot, which he was meant to. I can't remember. It was a famous actor who played the pilot of the plane, and it was meant to be. It was also
it's going to be him.
Yeah, he was leading everyone, and then he gets killed by the smoke monster.
Oh, okay. How Peter Bowles is revealed is really interesting, because you see him kind of revealed in a mirror, don't you, while she's drinking or doing something.
She's trying to get the phone to work, I think.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. And she looks terrible in these scenes.
Yeah.
She looks genuinely, absolutely awful, and more ill than any person on TV I've ever seen since. And it's so stark that it really does stick in your mind that she just looks horrifically bad. I think when I read the novel that it's like... she wakes up and she's basically like soiled the bed and wet the bed and stuff, and it's just urine stained and whatever. Ugh. You don't see that here, but you're just like, because she slept for days at this point, hasn't she?
Really?
Like,
okay, I wasn't sure about that. I wasn't sure how long this...
I think you see something moving. Like, is there a clock that's moving with like the days moving? Because I've written she slept for days. She slept for 5 days. All the food on the table has gone mouldy.
Right.
And Peter Bowles is dead. And then she kind of
similar to 28 Days Later when he wakes up.
Yeah, it's very similar to 28 Days Later, this bit, and also the bit when they're in the taxi and they go to the where all those stones are. That really no. Later on when they go and they kind of sat by standing stones. Yeah. I feel like that bit is very similar to when the Welsh guy comes into it.
We're getting closer to the end, aren't we? So, having seen that Peter Bowles has died, we then get a scene.
The idea that maybe I should go and see what's happening to my kid. Maybe
first of all,
she cuts her hair off.
I've also put that there's a great scene with her walking through the absolutely deserted village, and I said, who hasn't thought about doing this?
Yes,
like waking up and finding that everyone's gone, everyone's dead.
100%.
And again, this gave me all a similar time period again, and we've mentioned him before. Ross and I, the great writer John Christopher, who wrote The Prince in Waiting, and he also wrote Empty World, which is a similar concept, but it's all the adults have died and it's kids that have survived.
I remember that.
So we did that at school and we loved it, and it's a similar sort of vibe, that notion of like walking through towns and everybody's gone.
Yeah.
I thought that was
John
great.
Christopher and Prince in Waiting, we should give a little plug to James and I. Talked about Prince in Waiting on Sophomore Lit podcast a few months back, and that was really good. Revisiting our school days reading. We did that with John, and go and check that one out.
I think this part is one of the strongest bits of the episode, because this is the very high crane shot where she comes out the house and she says something like, "Please God, don't let me be the only one," which I think is amazing. She goes to look in the church. The church is full of dead pensioners, which is horrifying.
Again, was that the first instance of that? Or because that is something you see in every apocalyptic thing now.
Yes.
People go to a church and find the bodies.
Yes.
But that was better than 28 Days Later for me.
Oh, yes, much
better.
Well,
at least you can see what's fucking happening. It wasn't just some brown, dirty from like, a camera which has been dropped on the floor.
all you can hear is bird song, and I think that's quite an interesting technique. I mean, with this, there's hardly any music, if any music. I can't visualize music in it. And I think that's the use of silence is so impactful and so different to TV these days, where like modern Doctor Who music underlines every piece of fucking action. So it's like the Doctor looks to the left and it goes, and he looks to the right, and it's like...
Well, someone was talking about modern music, and they were saying, do you think it's influenced by video game music? Because they said a lot of the people who do music for TV also do music for video games.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you've got to have like... In video games, everything which happens has a little bit of like music to explain how you should be feeling. And what's
it's signposting, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's almost like that's what they do in TV now, particularly in that kind of genre.
Yeah, and you don't need it. I 100% don't think you need it. You're watching stuff. You know how to feel if you've just seen a church full of dead people. You don't need music to be like... So then I've written, the dog is dead, poor dog. Whose dog is dead? Is it the Doctor's dog?
I can't remember any dog.
Yeah, I think I felt really sad for the dog. I don't know why the dog is dead, because the dog isn't. I felt really bad. Well, I felt really bad for Gene Hackman's dog.
Oh, yeah,
because the poor bastard was in a cage.
Yeah.
And so Hackman was dead, his wife was dead, and the poor dog starved to death. And I was like, that poor bastard.
Didn't even get to feast on the face of Gene Hackman.
Well, he didn't get to do anything. The other two dogs survived, didn't they? But then she does, remembers her. She remembers her son. She cuts all her hair off, which I think is very symbolic, very interesting. I don't know how that came about with the actual actress herself, whether she had long hair.
Yeah, I think it was a wig previously.
It's a wig at the start, do you think? And then she cuts that off. But I think that's a really interesting, powerful scene where she's like, what point is long hair now? Yeah. It's just like any kind of encumbrance is just gone. Unfortunately, she then goes and tries to drive to the school in like a 4.5 litre fucking Jensen Interceptor when she could have just chosen like a 1 litre Mini or something. But I think what is coming up...
And this is where we see the two characters almost meet, don't we?
Almost meet, yes. So Jenny runs down a banking as Abby drives past.
She hears the car.
I'm fairly certain they do meet and become friends later on in this series, but it's so long since I can't remember. I'm sure the listener will remember. But what's coming up now is the best part of this episode for me, and something that has stuck in my head for all of time, which is when she goes into the school and all the boys are dead in their beds, which is just fucking absolutely chilling.
A little touch of they've all got their names written on stickers.
They've all got their names,
written on
then
stickers.
she goes to her son's bed and his bed is empty. So she's kind of pleased about that in a strange way. Besides being in a room full of...
No one's holding their nose at this.
No.
And there's something which... The smell of death would be...
Yes, but also, I think the notion of rotting kids, this would have been on probably at 7:30, 8 o'clock. They have to give some concessions to a wider audience.
This is primetime TV, isn't it? Now, when the crap is served up now, like Stacey Solomon fucking cleaning someone's house or something. So the next scene now...
She finds a dead teacher, or so she thinks.
So this, for me... is one of the key scenes in British TV history.
Yes.
And when I read this in the novel, it made me think in a different way to how I've ever thought. And it was to do with basically how you make a candle and who's got the skills to make a candle, and moving forward as society, as an idea of society, how are we going to do stuff like this without people?
So basically this is a bit of a philosophical speech by this teacher who isn't dead. He's asleep and got his hearing aid turned off.
It's an absolute masterpiece of TV drama.
Yeah, so he's basically saying everyone's dead and we've got to we've got to start again because no one knows how to do anything.
No one knows how to do anything.
And what my notes are I've just put typical fucking teacher as the apocalypse, and he's still giving a lesson.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever considered?
Whereas that woman should
now,
be going,
think about
where
this.
the fuck is my kid? Where is he?
Where is my
he?
kid?
Which way did he go?
Now, Hannah, consider the candle. No, but John, you are right. It is, and it's what the episode really builds towards, isn't it? And it's what I'm assuming is then the mission statement for the rest of the series.
Yes,
which is
it is.
we've got to start again.
Yeah.
And to that end, yes, I absolutely concur with John. It is fantastic.
It just has never left my mind. And I've written a zombie apocalypse TV drama, which will probably never be made or never see the light of day. But I would dearly wish to rip this scene off in that apocalypse drama, because I just think in a few minutes it sums up everything about post-apocalyptic drama, which is society is gone. What do you do next?
Yeah.
Where's the rule of law? How are you going to make things?
Yeah.
How are you even going to make tools?
Yeah. Do you just do it again, or do you do something else? You know?
Yeah. Are there? There will be food to last for decades, but after that, what do you do? Do you go back to stone tools?
Again,
and
it's really good with threads at the end of this as well, where we just go back to fucking just digging around in the ground and eating raw sheep.
It shows the and that's the point of the title of Threads. It shows the threads that society and communities hang on in modern life. Anything that's post-medieval or with any kind of technology. Once you take away electricity, oil, gas, steam,
we're just all so super specialised in doing a very, very tiny part of society.
I grew up on a farm and I couldn't do any of this.
No.
I could grow radishes, but could we all live on radishes for the fucking next?
There's a really good.
years?
It's either Armstrong and Miller or Mitchell and Webb sketch where a time traveller comes back, and he goes something like, "In the future, we got cars," and the guy's going, "Okay, yeah. So how does that work?" And then he goes, "Right, you get in it, and then you drive." And he goes, well, "But how does it work?" And he's like, "What? You put petrol in it."
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's why the teacher kind of sums that up, doesn't he? And he says that he's stone deaf and he's got a few batteries for now for his hearing aid, but after that, it'll be completely stone deaf. And he's just going to stay there and try listening to his
ham radio.
Yeah. It's such a moving scene, and probably one of my top 10 scenes in like TV history, because it's just for everything within this drama, it's summed up. And this is the point I was trying to make earlier about like expensive television. This is just two people talking in a science lab in a school. It's not Ben-Hur. There's not thousands of extras. It's literally like, it's good script writing, it's good ideas, and it's really good acting.
Was this is sort of the same sort of time as The Good Life? So there was a big sort of self-sufficiency sort of.
Yes, back to the land.
I think from the mid-70s onwards, it's always been a part of British culture. When you think of the Green Death in Doctor Who, which was to do with toxic waste and stuff, that's 73. So I think from then on, and counterculture is a big, big thing.
It ties into the book The Silent Spring, which kind of talks about sort of like the death of crops. And again, back in the 70s, the notion of overpopulation was a really, really worry and concern.
Yes, yeah. How do we feed all these people? And people still aren't answering these questions or even giving it a moment's thought. And then you have a dickhead like Trump saying drill, baby, drill and stuff like that. Yeah. And this has been going on for 50 years now, and people have been saying, we're fucked, please take notice. And
help.
Yeah, and you've got an idiot like him who's just like, you can't even see where his kind of moral compass is because it's so far. Is he just trying to make money for his grandchildren?
Yes, he's just mad.
Mad. He's just mad.
Yeah, well, they were saying on the radio the other day that there's people in the Middle East who are not, they got like wealth management people who are there not to sort out money for your child, not even your grandchild, or something like 5 or 6 generations as they are getting the money in place so that they will never need to work.
Mad.
Yeah, and it's just mad that there's people, the inequality in the world, that there's people are allowed to be that rich. You know, there's gonna be a reckoning, John.
Oh man! Once again, our Let's Say Yes to Life positivity special has been amazing.
There's going to be a massive billionaire backlash in our lifetime.
100%.
Come the revolution, brothers.
I think it starts with someone like Musk because he's lucked into it. He's not an intelligent person. He's got nothing to even say, really. He's just, what is he trying to do? What's he trying to prove? What are his aims? It's just mad, isn't it? One of the lines from this scene that stuck with me is that where he mentions that they are the generation that landed man on the moon.
Yeah, but we can't. Yeah, we can't make a candle. You know,
we can't make a candle. We can't make we can't make a flint tool. And I think that's still incredibly true now. And it's like what every day that I hear Labour politicians now talking about AI every day, it's like, what happens if they fucking turn the power off? AI exists within phones and computers. It can't fix your car. It can't tend to your mother if she's got dementia. It can't plough a field. It can't plant crops.
It was interesting because I heard this on the radio today, and they were saying it was all about training and infrastructure. They were saying if we could train and give infrastructure, then we will have growth. They said so. We put quite a lot of money in that into this country, and they did it even more in places like Germany. But America still went ahead of us. And they said, why is that? And he said, well, it's because the people who've got money are really, really well educated. The people who haven't got money, they just do all the manual job. Whereas we're just like training people to use computers, and then we can't make anything, you know? So,
no, exactly. Yeah, no man, if, we can't, in this country now, we're not making virgin steel anymore, except for maybe in... the
reopened gold mines in Wales, John. Yeah,
are they really? But it's like, what, if we can't import steel, how do we make stuff in this country now we've closed for Talbot?
Fucking hell, we're such old farts,
and I was about to say the other gold mine in Wales is that lunatic who still reckons that he's got his all that cryptocurrency on his hard drive that his girlfriend threw away.
Honestly, I want to write a drama about that. That's a drama I could make. That guy just sat in the middle of a garbage tip, so sure that it will still be working and be all right. But he's got investors now.
Yeah.
Paying for him to live, to find this fucking... Because there's like 600 million or something.
Well, they had a guy... They made way too many versions of the E.T. game for the Atari.
That's right.
And also,
there's a good documentary about it.
Yeah, and then they had to put it all in landfill, and then they realised that those are like, they go for shitloads of money, so they had to go and find them and dig them all up again.
Oh my god!
Yeah. So it's a good documentary about that. Because that was when I really started to dislike. Because the guy who turns up on that documentary is Ernest Cline, who wrote Ready Player One, and he comes across as such an obnoxious so and so that it's like, oh my god, I don't ever want to read anything he's written. But that's just my personal take. That's not.
I think he did have a good idea at the end of that. So we just turn the internet on for a couple of days a week, and then turn it off again after that. And that was their kind of like solution for everyone being addicted to being online.
Okay.
It's sent everyone mad, doesn't it?
My only last couple of bits from the amazing teacher soliloquy / kind of lesson. Just a couple of points of note. Number one, we find out that her son has gone off with one of the other to basically try and sort of not rough it out so much, but a bit like the Welsh Tramp, just kind of hide it out until so they are off somewhere else. But once again, my notes are, we've said this before, I'm sure, but for me, 2 words: fuck that. Camping. I hate camping more than anything in the world, plus a load of teenage boys that I have to deal with on a daily basis.
Starving.
No, and I've just put hell in capital letters.
They'd be good for bartering, though. I reckon
it would be my idea of hell.
You could sell them to Jimmy Savile if he had survived.
Yeah.
And then my other thing is, he mentions the old teacher says, over here we've got our old CB radio that I and the boys, and he said, we used to talk to other radio hams all over the world, and I've just put pervs and nutters. Yeah. That's who they used to talk to. That's
all the listeners to this podcast.
Yes.
Well, now, and then maybe you too are a perv and a nutter.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll leave that up to the individual at home to decide for themselves.
I think,
but yeah.
And also they used to listen to like the female cosmonauts who got sent up into space before they told everyone that they were. Do you hear about that?
No.
So apparently there's recordings where ham radio operators, they reckon that the Russians were sending people up into space before they'd let on about Yuri Gagarin, because they only told everyone about it when it was actually successful. And apparently there was someone who could hear like a female Russian voice, and then they could hear her like dying, because they could hear like the her heartbeat and stuff.
Oh my god. That's horrifying, isn't
bleak. So much Soviet stuff is bleak, isn't it? It's Chernobyl all over again.
Yeah, human life meant nothing to the communists.
Yeah, the reality, like the first time they did it, it worked. It's not realistic, is it?
Not plausible,
that's also like the amazing. There was a really good thing on BBC 4 once, back when they used to put money into BBC 4, all about cosmonauts, and I had that recorded before my TV box died, where I had the best part of 8 years worth of really good stuff on TV.
I was the same recently.
And it's all went, and one of them was the series about kind of cosmonauts and how mad they were, and just I had never realised. I just assumed that when Gagarin came back, he was just in his capsule, and the capsule just floated back down to Earth. No, they hadn't figured that bit out yet. So what they said to him is, okay, as you come back in, as you get back closer to the Earth's atmosphere, just open the door and jump out. And he did. And you think, now that's some balls on that man.
Yeah,
it's like you're plummeting back from saying, it's jump out now. You got a parachute, jump. And he did. Wow.
I thought jump out just before it hit the ground.
No. Like once so once you've gone past the whole super hot re-entry bit, but as it's starting to plummet towards the Earth, when you get to about 20,000 feet, jump. Yeah. Which is what you had
Go
to
ahead.
do. Yeah.
Jump.
Go ahead, jump.
Roger Moore.
Halen said. Yeah. Amazing. On that bombshell.
We now meet Jenny.
Oh.
Who meets another man with a knapsack, they used to be called. And he's ill, sat by a fire. So she tries to warm herself with his fire. And does he even speak at this point?
He says, he's basically saying, go away, I'm ill. And she said, but please, because I haven't come across anyone else, can I sit with you?
Yeah.
And then he dies. And then she tries to take he's clutching a bag, tries to take that away, and then can't. He's like gone into rigor mortis. So she takes the one under his head, and it's just full of money.
At that point, does she think it's food, or
I don't know what she's looking for?
What's her motive for taking the bag?
A better coat than the fucking stupid Afghan coat she's got on.
So yeah, it's just what is it, £5 notes or something like that? I can't think what the. Yeah. So then all I've got is Volvo, more practical, and Pennant Roberts. So Pennant Roberts is the director. Pennant Roberts, who was also a Doctor Who director, but who's in a Volvo now at this point?
Well, she drives back home, doesn't she? And then sets fire to her house, and that's.
So is that when she takes the Volvo?
I don't know if she takes a different car. Yeah.
I think you're right, Cleves. I need to look up Pennant Roberts now to see what Pennant Roberts did. Pennant Roberts. I think I might know someone who's related to Pennant Roberts, but they won't be listening to the podcast, so that's fine. So he directed this. I think he also might have done Terror of the Zygons. He did Wycliffe, Sharda. Albion Market. ITV's answer to EastEnders.
No, don't know that one.
Yeah, he did Howard's Way. He did 19 eps of Doctor Who.
Did he do Boone? Come on, Boone.
No, I don't think he did Boone.
He did Face of Evil in season 14. He did The Sunmakers in season 15. He did The Pirate Planet in 16. The Five Doctors. Uncredited, isn't it?
Uncredited because he did the bit of Sharda, which is used in the Five Doctors. Yeah.
Warriors of the Deep in 21.
Oh, did he?
And Time Lash in 22.
Oh, Time Lash is an absolute stinker. Yeah, so he was the director, but fair play to him.
Yeah.
So
when this ended, I immediately put on the second episode because it was so good. Yeah.
So what was the ending? But what's the ending of the episode, please?
It's just watch the house burn.
Is that what it is, really? Wow, okay. I haven't written any of that down. I think by that point, I was like, wow, this is such a kind of punch to the sternum.
So what do we think? What are we going to give it?
Terrific.
James, I feel like you're a super fan of this, James. So you can.
Well, I wouldn't say super fan, but there was not much wrong with it. It was one of those times. It was like, but given the budget, given the restrictions of the time, and given the food for thought, as you said, and the script, I'm giving it a 5.
Yeah.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Along with it meets that, along with like the road, the audio. For me, it was one of those things that I just enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah.
This is big news, isn't it?
It's a 5 from me as well.
Wow! This is like Strictly.
Yeah.
Are they going to get all 10s?
Is it going to be a full marks, John? What are you going to give it? And it's a 10 from Len.
It's a 5 from me.
Yeah. Full marks.
Yes. I think
happened.
really it ticks so many boxes in what it does, but
Just
also
so well made.
How well it's directed, how well it's written, and also the kind of stuff around it, who it's written by. I mean, what a year for Terry Nation. Genesis of the Daleks and this. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I put it out on Blue Sky, so we're on Blue Sky for one. What's that? General Witch at Blue Sky. To say we was watching this, and we just pretty much got everyone's loving it.
Yeah.
So David Morris says, my wife got me this for Christmas, having heard you rhapsodise about it, seeing it as a child. After the turkey, we thought we'd watch the first episode and end up spending the next 2 days binging the whole season.
Amazing.
Yeah, nice when something you remember fondly turns out to be so good.
Yes.
Derek Johnson says one of my favourite series, though I'm not sure I'll be able to watch it again. I like it, all of its varieties as well, though. And Nation's novel is the bleakest. Series 1 is how all the communities and social order falls, but then it becomes how society can be rebuilt.
Yeah.
Derek Heyman says it's one of my very favourite things. It's flawed, definitely, but still has some magic. If you want darkness, you should really watch the episode Corn Dolly, absolutely batshit, or the third series episode Manhunt, which is almost entirely without dialogue.
Whoa!
No way. I mean, this is from an era of TV where they tried mad stuff that was coming out of theatre, and they kind of subjected the public to quite insane. If you watch the Sea Devils, Doctor Who now, the music is just it's unlistenable.
Yeah.
But it was like, we're pushing boundaries. They don't do that with TV now. I don't think TV now. I think people think, oh yeah, we're pushing boundaries because we've got 300 extras in, but we're not. It's not storytelling boundaries, or it's not doing a total episode in silence, or there's so many things you can do with TV, and I think this is one of those series where they really kind of maxed out on that. And this is one of the kind of few things that we've watched where I thought, I really want to watch the rest of it now.
I'm going to try and get back to watching with me.
Yeah.
Two more I got here. Longdon Calling said, excellent stuff, bleak of course, but some good character development and well-written, complex situations still holds up today. It's good that Nation had this in him, because a lot of his writing for Doctor Who was the same old shit on repeat.
Well, his writing for Doctor Who is terrible in lots of ways.
Yeah. Well, where's the mutant clams in this? That's what I want to know. And SWP 1978 says series 1 was perfect. Then thanks to writers' feuds, the next series had a very depressing off-screen reboot where, spoiler alert, do you want to be spoiled?
Yeah, go on.
Half the established cast die in a fire.
Oh, boo.
Yeah, that's when I think that's when Terence Dudley, who did
Avengers?
Doomwatch, took over and made it into more of an eco-warrior kind of thing rather than post death.
But I think it was a nice double bill watching this with Doomwatch.
I think it worked really well. Yeah, very good indeed. And it's a 15. What other things have got 15, Cleves? The Road?
Oh, you mean scores?
Yeah.
I meant certificate. Right, sorry. I haven't written that down. I think The Road is the only other one that's had the full marks.
Yeah, that was great as well, though. To be fair, that was awesome.
So we've scored this more highly than Stone Tape. The Stone Tape Theory, as Zach Bagans would have it.
I rewatched the other night.
Theory.
for a bit of fun, it's not Skinwalker Ranch. It's the other,
amazing.
the one that you told us about. The guy who killed the Greys with the samurai sword. that one is just.
I love the guy who's going on about. Like, his arm was next to the UFO and he had cancer in his arm and the tree had cancer and all that mad stuff. That's just incredible.
It's an amazing hour of TV.
Yeah, it is.
Pure joy.
The only other thing that's come close was Inside Number 9, The Ghost of Christmas, which got 14.5. Because
that's pretty good.
One of us gave it.
Yeah.
James gave it 4.5.
Sorry.
And which is The Ghost of Christmas?
That was the
snuff tape.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've got to say, I probably enjoyed this a lot more than that. So what did The Road get?
15. So that's it.
Right, I see.
Yeah.
I see. So this is 15, that's 15, and then we've got the Ghost of Christmas.
Which is for all intents and purposes.
And Signalman and Warner to the Curious got 14 as well.
Yeah.
So what did the Stone Tape get? I thought that was quite high.
It's an early one, so we were still getting in our stride of scoring.
Scoring and
got a 12, which James only gave it a 3.
Yeah.
James.
Which now I think it was so much fun talking about it. I think if I rewatched it now, knowing what I know, I probably would enjoy it more. But I think just at the time, coming into it cold, it was just kind of like, it's good, but it's not. It's good. It's worth watching, but I didn't think it was amazing. Whereas now I'd probably reevaluate it.
For TV production values back then, you really have to reassess everything about how you watch TV, and I think that's now we're kind of fluent with.
Yeah, we
stuff.
steeped you in it, James.
Yes.
Yeah. Now we kind of grasp
your
stuff
expectations
like
are so much lower.
That's true. After getting
partly
to
that,
Extra,
but it's also like, oh god, Extra, yeah. But it's also like trying to grasp the dialogue. Dialogue isn't simplistic and kind of spelt out. It's like rushed, and you're kind of like, I don't know what the fuck they're saying sometimes.
Every now and then, out of all the shots in the Stone Tape, the thing that is that one where they decide that there is a ghost and they try to track it down, and he's walking around with like those big bellows or whatever it was.
Space trumpet.
The big space trumpet. That just every now and then that sequence is just in my mind.
Yes.
I can hear the music in my.
Yeah, brilliant, terrifying.
Yeah.
Now, I am going to buy it though, because next month it's out now. I think it's been re-released and it's on Blu-ray, so I was going to get it to sit alongside Ghostwatch.
Yeah, just so you can watch them getting the man dressed as an alien out of the back of the car in 4K.
Nippon, Nippon, just so I can relive my favourite moments.
Yeah.
Amazing,
perfect them.
Okay, well, next time we are going to be returning to a bit of Big Chris Lee with Taste the Blood of Dracula.
Yes.
I'm
I'm halfway through it already.
Okay, but
Peter Sallis on drugs.
At last,
snakes and boobs.
The one from mine and Ross's teenage years,
Yeah.
has finally made it to the podcast.
Yes.
Look forward to it.
I think this is going to be a high scorer as well, mind. I think this might be a 4 or 5.
Oh, well, we're
For just sheer enjoyment. Mind you, it's got Ralph Bates in, so that's always a -7 for me.
We'll come back and find out.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, happy day.
And until next time, everyone, once again, as we said at the top of the show, thank you wherever this is finding you, thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate it. Thank you.
Once upon a time, please do come and visit us in the kind of southwest of Britain.
What?
Why not?
Okay.
Right. Love, light and peace.
You have been listening to the General Witchfinders. Support the show and continue the conversation at patreon.com/General Witchfinders. Subscribe and spread the word at generalwitchfinders.com. Farewell, and don't have nightmares.
Apparently, this is what artificial intelligence believes I, Big Christopher Lee, sound like. How utterly inadequate. If you've derived any enjoyment from this podcast, and I trust you may find interest in our wares. The boys have created t-shirts and badges, as well as a publication described as a zine, containing writings most curious, tales of the uncanny, and articles steeped in shadow. Visit GeneralWitchfinders.com if you there.
I'm very red, sorry.
Oh,
There we are.
I just realised
They got swelling under armpits, has she?
No, no swelling under her armpits. You haven't got the plague, have you?
No,
No.
as far as I'm aware.
She's we've got the heating on. I
I
don't.
turned it off.
Oh, it's off now.
Off.
Off now.
Good night.
Oh, I look like I'm in a. Is it QPR? No. Who are the hoops, James?
yeah, QPR.
Yeah.
All
West
Reading.
Brom, I was going to say.
West
they're-
Brom also. They're the baggies,
They're,
though.
they're straight. They're up and down.
Yeah.
Tesco bags.
Tesco bags.
So all my knowledge of kit comes from my uncle's Saputio kit. So that would have been
Lovely.
from like 1960.
Oh, interesting.
Something.
But they're still Adrian Charles's number one football team, aren't they?
Team. Yes. He turned up, didn't he? Alan Partridge-esque. Who's the guy for Liam Payne's funeral, who was also a big West Brom fan, in his West Brom jacket. Did you not see that? Obviously not. I'll send that to you. In
Adrian Childs turned
yes.
up to Liam Payne's
funeral in his West Brom jacket. Hang on. It'll be on the group chat momentarily.
Good God.
John, can you check you're talking into your mic?
Hello?
Yes, you are. Yeah.
Yes.
Just so far away from it, it just sounds like you're.
It's literally, you can see where it is, Cleves. It's there, look.
There we go.
Funeral.
It's literally that far away.
Mine is. Well,
I don't need to.
it sounds so much better though. It sounds so good.
Does it?
Yeah.
Surely my voice just booms out anyway.
Yeah, but it's just the echo from the room. See,
Yeah.
the what you call it? The
Reverb.
yeah. They always have to de-reverb you.
Oh, no. I'm sure people don't mind, Cleves.
No.
I know I can't talk because I have a similar face, but as Stuart Lee once says, a man with a face like a Toby jug full of hot piss. There you go.
Oh, that's amazing. That's incredibly. That's more Alan Partridge than Alan Partridge, isn't it? Because my favourite Alan Partridge moment was watching Alan Partridge with my friend called Jen, who I don't see anymore because she's moved away. And she was her sense of humour was very odd. But we watched the one, I can't remember what episode it is, where Alan goes to Tony Hare's funeral in the black jacket, and then he turns around and it says Castrol GTX on the back.
Yes.
And I absolutely pissed myself. And she was just like, I don't get it. And I was like, I don't think I can spend time with you anymore.
That's the episode where like the other guy who really likes Alan takes over Tony Hare's job and says, I want to get you back on the BBC. Yes. And he's like, right, let's sign this contract. And then he dies, doesn't he? He dies.
Yes.
And Partridge goes over and like finishes like signs it.
Amazing. I should watch more Alan Partridge, but there's a lot to watch now, isn't there?
Yeah.
There is, but I said the I'm Alan Partridge, those two series, when he's in the Linton Travel Tavern, when he's getting his house built with his Eastern European girlfriend, they are just sublime.
Have you listened to From the Oast House?
Yes.
Yes, that's really good.
It's Kate and I have been listening to it when I've been taking Kate to and from hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
How far are you in it, James?
About sort of 4 or 5 episodes in,
Oh,
we do like one episode there and back. Like the one where he decides to break into his neighbour's house.
Yeah.
And then he's there, and the guy, and he goes, "I'm Alan Partridge," and he goes, "I know you are." It's just the way that guy does it.
It gets really good. It gets really good later on where they realise that the Geordie guy's not dead, and they're trying to track him down.
From the Linton Travel Tavern.
Yeah.
Michael,
the film's
is it?
good as well.
Michael,
The film's
he died
good.
in the film.
Oh, did he die in the film?
Yeah.
Well, you think it's not spelled out.
Yeah. Have you seen the film, John?
Yes.
Yeah.
We went to see it.
Go on, John.
We went to see it in the pictures, I think. That's the kind of thing that would, actually reel me in to make an effort to go to the cinema.
Michael, you're like a big Geordie Anne Frank. It's one of the best lines in that. He's hiding in the cupboard.
Mr. Partridge? He says it like that. Mr. Partridge? Oh, Mr. Partridge. Oh, God.
And of course, when you learn that he is the man who is behind the meerkats.
Is he?
He's the voice of all the meerkats on.
No way.
He probably made more money out of that than he ever did from Park.
Oh, my God, definitely. He will have made an absolute fortune from adverts.
So, we're the number one film history podcast in Ireland.
Wow! Thank you to our Irish listener.
Yeah,
who's no doubt and pushed it. We really.
How many downloads do we get in Ireland?
I don't know. Have a look.
And I say
the Emerald Isle.
My maternal grandmother.
Oh no way!
Is Irish. Yeah, she's a Dempsey. Yeah,
I'd really like to go to Ireland.
Yeah, I want to go to like proper Ireland. Yeah,
it's
I'd like to go to Dublin because that's where Francis Bacon's studio is. Bizarrely,
and loads of amazing stone circles over there.
Yes. And I'd like to go to the West Coast where they filmed Ryan's Daughter because that looks incredible. The big Atlantic waves coming in that started in like New York or somewhere. So how many have we got then, Cleve?
I'm just looking now.
Yeah. So if any of our Irish listeners can, once again, thank you.
Pay for us to come over.
Well, no, we'll pay to go over there. But yeah, any recommendations from you, we would so gratefully receive.
Yes, I would definitely. I think there's a lot of very fine Georgian architecture in Dublin that other British cities have kind of lost because they didn't have a building boom post the Georgian era.
Beck's been to Dublin a few times with work. 718 downloads in Ireland.
Whoa!
No way, really?
Yeah.
All from the same person?
No, well, most of them in Dublin, some in Cork.
Gosh.
Not Cork. COBH, whatever that is. We've had a few in Cork.
Probably like Cove or something like that, isn't it? Because Siobhan is CO band, so maybe it's Cove or Corve.
Yeah, and then just like one or two more over the place in Ireland.
Oh, gosh.
Mainly Dublin and wherever that place is.
Well, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for listening. It's mad, isn't it, to think people
around the world, wherever you may be.
It just blows my mind.
It does, yes.
It's
only 21 in Russia.
Hey, look.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's only for the people running Russia.
Yeah.
That's not because I will stand up here for. I said we went to Russia with the school when I was 15.
Good Lord.
They could not have been more welcoming and lovely people.
Yes,
they were genuinely because this was right after the end of the fall of communism, and they were genuinely so pleased to see people from the West. And their English was, once again, it just makes you feel like such an idiot.
Yeah,
that not only were, of course, they were speaking Russian, but we were all 15, and they all just slipped into absolutely seamless English.
It's amazing.
It was just like, oh my god, I'm such a moron. But yeah, man, like I said, them peoples is tough.
Yeah.
That was the coldest I've ever been. Greece in August was the hottest I've ever been. Russia in the start of March. Bearing in mind they said, "Oh, this is pretty warm by comparison." It hurt to breathe in.
Oh my god!
So the air was so cold it hurt your lungs, and I was like, "Oh my god,
it's mad."
That's like when I was in Berlin and Simon only brought a wind sheeter. His hair was frozen solid.
Yeah. It's
and he stunk of oh no, that was in London when he stunk.
That was London.
After
Moscow is interesting because it's actually closer to the equator, I think, than Edinburgh.
Yeah,
but it's because of the way the wind blows or whatever that they have this. I was going to. Oh yeah, we had some lovely Russian actors stay with us in our bed and breakfast when I was young, because they were performing in Stratford-on-Avon. And they came from a place called Togliatti in Russia, and they were all lovely as well. So that was probably 91. So that was just as the Iron Curtain was departing.
So yeah, so big respects.
Yeah.
So as long as you're not part of the Russian political machine, respect, welcome.
But if you are listening, Vladimir. Please don't send a funny man round to prick me with an umbrella.
Novichok pizza
through my shoe.
Yeah. Well, we're lacking listeners in Africa, so if we can get some more African
let's work on that.
If we can in Africa.
Yeah.
All
right. Should we go for it?
All right, let's do this.
Things you've never even needed to consider before. For instance, that. Could you make that? Where does the raw material come from? Do you know?
Well, some sort of oil product, I suppose. Or before that, tallow or animal fat.
But could you make it? Something as simple as a candle, starting from scratch.
Well, I could probably find out. It must be in a book somewhere.
All right, take it from there. A book will tell you how electricity is generated, but could you do it? Right from the very beginning. Find the metal in the earth, dig it up, refine it, turn it into wire. Could you make and cast glass for a light bulb? You'll need to know every part of every process. A carpenter, a man who works in wood. He doesn't chop down the trees, he doesn't forge the steel for his saw. Could he make a hammer? Nails? For myself, I could perhaps fashion some sort of stone tool.
We really are that primitive.
Incredible, isn't it? We're of the generation that landed a man on the moon, and the best we can do is talk about making tools out of stone. What you called a stockpile of things will merely give us a little breathing space, perhaps several generations, but in that time, all the old crafts and skills must be learned. We must learn.